Brendan, how excited to get back out there this spring and kind of test out all the new toys and kind of see what you guys have after a pretty tough winter, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's been a very tough winter. Pretty much every workout we go through is tough, so just excited to get football going and see what these guys got that we brought in from the transfer portal, and then just excited to see the guys that we brought back, just how they've grown and everything, and I'm excited to see how we do as an offense and excel from last year.
Does the tremendous flow game and the facial hair stay throughout the season, or just the spring, or what is that?
Yeah, it's staying. Hopefully it'll be a little longer than it was last year. We'll see what happens, but I think we're in a pretty good spot right now. Just continue to grow up, man.
Brendan, you were quick to commit to coming back after the TCU game in that press conference when you could have been standoffish, played your options. Why were you so fast and so ready to commit to coming back?
I think we were really close to being a really good team last year. We lost a lot of close ones, and I feel like, if we got the right pieces back, that we could, really, make that jump as a team, especially as an offense. I felt like we left so much out there, and I was just excited to get back and, see what we can do this year. And, I don't want to put any guarantees out there that we're going to do this or that, but, just go out there and see what happens. But I feel really good about where we're at right now.
Gavin, you elected to return there, use your extra year of eligibility. Talk about that decision and what went into all that processing.
Yeah, I didn't really, when I knew after redshirt my freshman year and then the COVID year, I knew I had another year. And when I committed to play here when I was a sophomore in high school, I committed to play here the whole time I'm in college, no matter if that's 4 or 5 years, 6 years, it didn't matter. So when I had that opportunity to come back for a 6th year, there was no doubt that this is where I was going to be.
You've got like a drill sergeant look going about you now, and you're a veteran captain. Does that carry on to the practice field, to the young players, or you get after them?
Yeah, because I'm going to have 3 new guys out there with me. Dion's coming back, and then there's going to be, Taryn is transferred, really high on him. He's can squat a house. I mean, but there's going to be 3 new faces out there with me regardless. So I need to continue to lead this team, and especially the offensive line and the offense with this guy right next to me. So that's kind of the look I'm going for now, yeah.
Gavin, you just gave high praise to Dontay there, obviously, with what he's done in the weight room. Talk about the combine over the weekend. Luke Kandra, John Williams both stood out there in the bench press. Talk about what it was like to see those two have that success down there in Indianapolis.
It's awesome because, I've known both of them for 6 years and knew Luke through the recruiting process. He ended up, going to a different school and then ultimately coming back here playing. But I knew both of them, and I know them really well, and they're best friends for life. So seeing them have the success they've had, I knew as the off season and the things go on with the combine and whatnot, I knew a lot of teams would grow on John. John had a tremendous season for us last year, and whatever team gets either one of those guys, they're going to be happy with it.
Brendan, I'm sure you see student. I'm trying not to say kids because everyone's kids to me, but. People your age, you see them and they say, okay, 5-2 to 5-7. How do you sell them on this team can progress?
Yeah, we obviously got a lot of new faces in the building. We got the ones that I felt like were very impactful for us last year. We got those guys back. Really, I think we're really confident in the team that we have. I think that we were really close in the games that we did lose last year. Obviously, that doesn't change the fact that we lost those games. But we were really close. I think that if they just stick with us and trust us throughout this process, I think they're going to be happy as fans, and I think they'll be a part of a pretty big turnaround.
Gavin, Brendan mentioned pretty much every workout is tough throughout this winter. Do you kind of see the tough workouts testing people's actual love for football? And have you seen this group kind of express that love for football through their willingness to go through it?
For sure. I think off seasons are really necessarily a lot of things we do don't necessarily translate to football. It's not all about football unless we start doing PLPs and OTAs and stuff like that. It's really just testing how much can you go through and how much can you go through mentally to prepare yourself for the season. So there's guys that we're doing 25 push-ups. It's 4th quarter finisher. We do 2 sets of those. I mean, as an offensive lineman, it's kind of hard to do 50 push-ups. I mean, realistically, it is. So it pushes guys to the limit in those aspects, and we've seen a lot of guys this offseason that not necessarily I thought I would have seen, but a lot of good stuff.
How much time do you get to spend with the new guys or the younger guys going over, watching tape or talking about how Coach Cardwell does things? Do you get a lot of individual time like that where you can impart that wisdom going into spring?
Oh, yeah. I'd say we've been training for 7 weeks, 8 weeks now. I think the first week we started doing a little meetings, but since then we've been meeting 3 to 4 times a week, regardless if Coach Cardwell's in there, Coach Price, whoever's in there. It doesn't matter. If I'm in there just with them, if it's just the young guys, going over calls that we make, adjustments to not necessarily game planning a defense right now, but are going against our defense, just the basics of what we do. So we've been doing that for 8 weeks now.
How much are you guys looking forward to the new facility, and what have you seen from the new guys that come in? How big of a selling point is that to get them, this for both of you? The guys that you've hung around, I mean, is that an eye-opening thing when they come in and see what's coming?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that, maybe coming from a different university that, might have had really awesome facilities and then come and see this. I think that is going to be one of the nicest facilities in the country. And, obviously for guys like us, like I didn't come here for the facilities, obviously. Like I wanted to come here for the staff, the culture, the players, everybody there. And then just to get to see this grow and everything, I'm really excited to use it. And then guys like him who have been here for, it seems like 15 years and are just going to get the last half of his football career in that thing. So I'm sure guys like him are maybe a little disappointed they didn't get to spend more time in it, but obviously the younger guys and all the new transfers that got to see it and everything are really fired up to use it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, I've been here for 6 years, and I've been a part of the old locker room, the old nasty, tough and nasty locker room, the new one that we got. I've been a part of everything, so it's exciting to see something like that come into play.
How much time do you get to spend with the new wide receivers? I know you're not allowed to use a football in some of the stuff that you guys are doing now, but how do you work to get on the same page with those guys in boarding so that you hit the ground running at the start of the spring?
Yeah, whenever we are out there, even though we don't have a ball, we still get to see what they're doing versus corners or safeties, whatever it may be, and we can talk that stuff over because we can watch that back. And then we're just together all day long, pretty much. So I'm just in the locker room messing with them and getting to know them better as just people outside of just players. And I'm very fired up about the group of wideouts that we have, and excited to see how it translates throughout the spring ball into the season. But very excited.
Based on what you've seen, without practice yet, who are the ones that you would guess would be the ones that would be the most exciting to watch?
Everybody we brought in, everybody we got coming back is very electric right now. So I'm excited to see just how all these guys excel. I would assume that there would be a little bit of a separation obviously created throughout the spring, but we'll see how that pans itself out, and I'm just excited to see how it does, though.
You ever get frustrated in that period? So just give me a ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like, well, whenever our receiver wins, I'd be like, well, that'd be nice to throw it to him here or whatever, so the defense could stop talking trash, because it's easy to talk trash to the defense and an offense whenever there's no ball, but the defense will find out soon enough that their trash talk is going to be eliminated, so we'll be good.
Gavin, have you gotten to know Tawi and some of the new backs that you're going to be pounding space for?
Oh, yeah. Him and Zion and even Manny and Evan, I've got to know them even more with another off season with them. I'm excited about that, the opportunity to have any of the 4 of those guys back there, and even maybe more. I think they all bring different aspects and a lot of different things to the table when it comes to their game. So I'm excited to block for whoever's back there for us.
Brennan, kind of going back to the drills without footballs thing, is it like a Russell Wilson pregame where you're like doing the fake throwing, or are you kind of just letting them do one-on-one routes?
No, so like that's how we get work out of it, is like we have to, like Coach Thomas wants to see us like point to where we would have thrown it. That way he knows, like, all right, like just because these guys don't have a ball, we still know that they're making the right decisions and everything. So that's still been good. Obviously, it's just a mental game more than a physical game right now, and that will obviously change on Monday.
And then kind of over the offseason, how many conversations did you have with Coach Sat about what you specifically wanted or needed out of receivers? And do you feel like this group kind of represents the things that can take this offense to the next level?
Yeah, 100%. I felt like just throughout the whole portal process and everything, I was, trying to, be with as many visits and recruits as I could be. But, I think we got a great group of guys coming in that can run really well. They can jump, catch, do everything that a receiver needs to be able to do. And I'm excited to see what they can do whenever we get to spring ball on Monday. But I think we got a great group of guys.
How fun was the WWE experience, and how many people that you hadn't heard from in a while hit you up like, what are you doing on TV right now?
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
you want to go?
it doesn't matter to me. I'm not a huge WWE guy. I mean, I do enjoy it, and I grew up watching it, but this guy is, I saw him at the Royal Rumble. I took my brother and Dontay, and ended up seeing him in line. He had the John Cena wristbands on, and he was on the floor, though. I was up a little higher for the Royal Rumble, so but it was a fun experience to get to spend time with those guys outside the building, and then, you know, represent the university in a great way. It was a good experience.
Cena's gone heel now. Your thoughts?
Disappointed. That's the only thing I can say is disappointed, but we'll see what happens. I'm a big WWE guy. Me and Dontay were very fired up to hear that we were going to be going and sitting where we were, but yeah, a little disappointed about the John Cena heel turn.
Gavin, did you mean to stare straight into the camera in that picture that they all took?
You try and act natural in those situations, but it's like the camera was standing there for like a minute. So I'm like, I guess I could look at it for a minute. I could try and look away, act like I'm looking at something else. But they caught me at a bad time, that's for sure.
How was McAfee? Did he throw West Virginia shade at you?
No West Virginia shade, thank goodness. But he was good. You know, he talked to us pretty briefly, obviously, because he was busy. But it was good to see those guys and interact with them.
How excited to get back out there and kind of actually play football with a football and get the spring started, get the season kind of rolling?
Yeah, super excited. You know, we're both older guys. You know, this off-season stuff kind of gets a little old quick, man. So I just want to play football. I know I'm really excited. I know he is as well. And yeah, I think we got a great attitude going in the spring. Practice starting next week.
And not just that, just all the new guys we got. I want to see, you know, how they play in our scheme and on the offensive side of the ball. I'm very excited for this new core of guys we got.
You're both local kids. I know countless kids come in here from the local schools. What are you able to tell them? I mean, you both had different paths here, but how do you sell this team to somebody that's thinking about coming here that's pretty good locally?
Yeah, I tell them it's like the best feeling in the world, you know, staying home and just building your foundation here, building the mark, you know, building the legacy for here. Like this offseason, you know, I'm buying a house. Like I want to, even my dreams of going to the next level. Like I'm always gonna have a home here, and I just love this place. So I try to tell them, like, you necessarily don't have to leave to go to the NFL. You can go to the NFL from Cincinnati. We're just gonna develop. You know, Nico, Coach Sat, and the rest of the staff is gonna help you get to your goal.
Yeah, and obviously I didn't start my career here, but like Dontay said, just being a Cincinnati kid and playing here, there's no better feeling, and I'm super excited and super glad that I'm in the position I'm in now, and I wouldn't want to be playing anywhere else.
It got to be announced that you were coming back at, I think, halftime of the Xavier game. What was that moment like for you, just as, like you just said, a Cincinnati kid in front of all the fans?
Yeah, you know, it was a surreal feeling. We got a pretty good crowd pop, so just kind of seeing the love we got from the fans, and yeah, like you said, especially from being here, it hits a little different for sure.
How much stronger are you now, and how many times can you throw 225 up?
A lot. And we got this freshman named Jeremiah Kelly. He's like one of the strongest freshmen I ever seen, like doing a tug of war. I'm like, where we find this guy at? And just his development, I'm seeing him, and like all the young guys, like how strong he is. But that's a testament to Coach Nico, you know, all of like the technique wise, because you could be the strongest guy, but you're not going to get as many reps as you want. So it's all about the technique, not necessarily about the strength.
How much different is it now, health being taken care of and being able to attack an off season without having all the concerns and everything that you had to go through last year?
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons why I came back, obviously, is to prove to everybody that I can play at a high level. What I had dealing with last year and going through an off-season this year, going through a full off-season, I having a plan with Coach Brandon Garcia, our strength coach, and Coach Chris, and like all the guys that I do different type of extra work to be in top shape, because I can't do some of the things not necessarily. So we just keeping me in top shape.
How tempting was the NFL contact for both of you?
It was hard. You know, I took a full week to think about it, but I wanted to make sure I was happy with it. And I talked over with my family, and they said it was a no-brainer to come back and just get better and develop and just help this team out even more while helping myself out, prove people wrong that I can still play at a high level.
Yeah, like Dontay said, it was a tough decision for a little bit, but I kind of knew right away this is where I wanted to, what I wanted to be doing coming back for another year. But you know, I was just weighing my options out a little bit. But yeah, like Dontay said as well, it was a no-brainer. And only being here for 1 year this past season, I wasn't ready to move on, and I wanted to give it another shot.
What's the next level look like for you and Sorsby? Having a year together, understanding each other, where you like the ball, what he likes to do, how much higher can the ceiling go?
Yeah, it can go a lot higher, you know, and we're still working through some things. But as, you know, from this time last year, kind of this time now, it's night and day. You know, I kind of understand a little bit what he kind of wants me to do. And, you know, a lot of the times, route running wise, you know, it's kind of, you just got to feel like you'll have certain depth on a route, but most of the time you're not hitting that. You got to find zones. And Sorsby kind of knows what I'm seeing, and I kind of know what he's seeing, so we kind of just build that bond. And, yeah, I'm super excited to get back to work with him and, you know, just build it again for next year or next season.
Joe, you were featured in the video where you took some of the new transfers to Skyline. Walk us through what that experience was like for you and what were their thoughts on the whole situation there.
Yeah, it was a cool little funny thing to do. Obviously, being from here, I'm a huge Skyline fan, and, you know, if the cameras, it was just kind of weird a little bit because, you know, we're just sitting there and there's all these cameras watching us eat. So, like, if those cameras weren't there, I probably would have inhaled 5 conies real quick, but wasn't trying to do that. But, yeah, it was just kind of funny seeing a different kind of perspective on what Skyline would be like to some guys who are out of town or not from here, you know, because to them it's really weird kind of what Skyline is. But, yeah, like to us it's kind of second nature. Like, we don't think anything twice about it. But it was good, and it was good kind of seeing their reactions.
Dontay, you have a new sandwich coming out, or how's the old one selling?
I was just talking to Tom from Bucketheads, and I think we're working something up for this year, so we got to stay tuned for that.
I asked Brendan this. How's the reception been for you guys, for people that follow the program? And you were 5-2 and finished 5-7. You're out in the public, you know, down at the wrestling and all that. What do you hear from people? They
still behind us no matter what our record is. They always gonna be behind us, supporting us. And it's been nothing but love from the fans that I got, and they said they're excited for this year and will be coming to offer.
Yeah, I haven't had any bad experiences with fans or people. You know, they're all extremely supportive of us, and just like us, they want us to win as well. So they're backing us hard.
Dontay, I asked Gavin about this. Both of them kind of said that the workouts are hard every day and it's really challenging. Do you kind of see that challenging people's like true authentic love for the game of football when they're pushed to their limits, and how have you seen this group kind of respond in that way?
I mean, me and Joe can talk about that yesterday. Jeremiah Kelly, again, this is a guy, we was doing fourth quarter, we had like 25 reps of different type of things, and we was doing the push-ups. And then I see across from me is Joe Royer and Tywee Walker was helping him up, literally putting their head under him to try to lift him up. It was like, I don't see a lot of teams doing that, and see how connected we are this year. And it's like, because we were a young team this year, like a very young team, and we just teaching them the ropes, and they're listening and they're grasping it. So.
There were a lot of freshmen that got on the field last year. Any of those guys jumping out to you in this offseason that it feels like they're ready to take that experience they got and take a leap?
Yeah, just starting on the offensive side, specifically the tight end room. You know, Gavin Grover, young guy, played a decent amount of snaps for us last year as a true freshman, and he's changed his body from what he kind of looked like 6 months ago even till now. It's night and day. So he's been putting in the work, working on everything that could help him be a better tight end. And Devin Zahersky as well, another young guy. So I'm really happy to kind of see what they've been doing for us. And then, yeah, on the defensive side, you got Sanks and Simeon and, great players for us last year, and super excited to see what they do for us this year again.
Yeah, obviously those two guys. But as far as D-line wise, Marquez Parker, trying to get him more like mature, like far as like taking care of his body and being available for our guys, and just how deep we is this year. The young guys we brought in, like Tim, Griff, and Cordell, like they just like we haven't had bigger, taller guys like that in a minute. So that's me. My job. Rob Jackson's job is to teach them, develop them before we leave here so they can be able to pass it on.
What about your guy Gerd? Do people gravitate to him based on he's got a title?
Yeah, he's my age, so he's been in college for a little while now, so he kind of understands it. So he has had no problems coming in here and kind of dealing with the workouts and the culture because he's already had it instilled in him a little bit. But yeah, when you think about it, it's cool. Like, we have a national champion on our team, and I think guys do kind of recognize that and, kind of go towards him for advice, maybe whatever it is, or kind of just asking what they did differently to help potentially us down here. But, yeah, he's been doing great so far, and he's had no issues fitting in the locker room culture or anything, and guys like him as well.
Yeah, you could definitely tell when he stepped foot, like, in the locker room, his presence alone, like his leadership alone, is like another captain on his team instantly when he steps foot.
Well, the guy looks downright biblical, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Kind of going off of that, Joe, what did it mean to you that Patrick was kind of willing to, bet on Cincinnati and bet on what you were saying about the team and willing to spend a season or a couple seasons here at Cincinnati?
Yeah, as soon as I found out he was getting in the portal, I spent 4 seasons or 4 years with him up at Ohio State, and we used to live together as well. So he is already one of my closer friends, and as soon as I, heard he was getting in the portal, I knew this would be a perfect opportunity for him, because we just lost Francis Sherman, and he would kind of be in that role, and I thought he could do it really well and do some like fullback stuff for us as well, like he did at Ohio State. But yeah, I was just super glad we were able to get him. No, I don't really think it was any question as to where else he would want to go. He knew this would be a perfect opportunity for him, and I'm super glad to be playing with him again.
Dontay, I talked to Trey Smith recently about when he reached out to you last year when you were diagnosed with blood clots. He had gone through the same thing at Tennessee. What did that conversation mean to you?
Yeah, it was a game changer, having that feeling like being all alone, like when that news broke, I had like a lot of anxiety coming out. And then once he texted me, Zach, our media guy, he gave me options to people that had it, and Trey was a perfect one to, overlook me, like this what I did in this type of situation in rehab, like all that stuff helped out, and it just made me have like a brighter day because, it was dark clouds some days, like not thinking I was going to come back or anything like that, and he helped a lot, and we still got a relationship to this day. Like, I can text him and how do you like go through this, and how do you like ways I can like get through this, and he'll just give me options.
What was the Monday Night Raw experience like for you guys, and did you have to console Sorsby when John Cena turned heel? It sounded like it messed him up pretty bad.
Yeah, Sorsby, he's different. Like, I remember when we was there, it was like a wrestler named Natalia. I look over, and he just hugging her. I'm like, Sorsby, sit down. Like, it's just like, but me and Sorsby, like 1-2 punch as far as like wrestling fans, like I still love it to this day, but he's like in his own different world once we get in that arena.
Bearcat Battle Royal, who wins?
I got myself, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm taking myself as well.
You throwing him over the top?
I'll figure out a way to get him out of there.
Throw like a coney or somewhere to distract me or something like that.
Would that be like Hogan slamming the Giant or what?
I mean, he left with Nico, he'd be all right.
Yeah, I think I'll be able to.
Do you even know what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, no, I was a big WWE fan growing up. I fell away from it once I kind of got older. So
he's like 20 years late. he was calling people names. I'm like, brother, they retired like 15 years ago.
I haven't kept up with kind of the newer guys that have come in, but yeah, I used to be a big time fan when I was younger, and that was my first time ever at like a WWE event, and it was actually really entertaining. And I mean,
yeah, then
I would go back.
Yeah, then we met Pat McAfee. Like that was pretty cool, and then we met Michael Cole, a long-time announcer there. So it was a great experience.
Did you talk to him about the developmental program? They bring college guys in
Yeah,
now.
I know, but he had to go. I'm like, come on, Pat, you need to talk to me, but he had to go. So I tried. But my boy Cam Jones, he's somewhere right there, so I'm gonna try and get at him to get in there.